Good evening. Welcome to Sacred Enzyme. I'm Stacy. I hope you've had a great day today. So it's pretty late. It's like 10:30 almost here in Florida. And usually I don't do any nighttime content because I'm tired in the evening. But I really wanted to come back and give an update on the community garden. It got passed through the board. I'm so excited. So we're going to be doing a lot of videos on how we're going to set up this community garden on a shoestring. So we want to try to design a template that everybody can do on, very little money, on recycling things, just being, using our ingenuity. So that's a really, really big plus, and it made me super happy. But today is the 28th, and the 28th is a very special day because the 28th is the number of the primordial mother. And I've been saying the world mother, but I think that we're going to have to be a little bit more specific with our words because words, if you don't use your words right, you can be directing your energy wrong. And so when I talk about the world mother, what I'm talking about is I am talking about the primordial mother. The primordial mother. This is before time. This is before form. The primordial, the original divine mother. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fake mothers. I'm not talking about artificial timeline mothers. I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about the original creator mother, primordial mother. Okay, so I want to get into the Cicero archetype because this is leading all into this stuff because I came across some information this evening that Jessica Morocco had put on her channel. If you've never watched her channel, I recommend it. She has some really good information on there. She channels in from Andromeda Talks, and that's some of her early work, and I'm still going through it, but she has some very valuable information in there. If you have time to go over to her channel, check it out. So I want to talk about the Cicero archetype because this is going to lead into the stuff that she was talking about today. And it was about a TV show, which I haven't watched. I'm bad about watching TV and movies and stuff. I don't like seeing anything violent. I've been through so much with these experimenting on me as a child and all of the breeding programs. And I've not talked about all this stuff because, I don't want to get off on 10 shades of out there where we're getting so jumping around so much that people can't keep up. But there's been things that I'm being communicated to by the primordial mother. That's my mission here. And so the way that I'm understanding it is that we had a change in the original plan that we had for the ascension cycle and how we were going to reseed the codes. So we went to a secondary plan. And so it's important that everybody starts waking up and we get woke up now. Seriously. Because there's a lot of stuff happening and people need to know about it. So we're going to talk about the Cicero archetype because the reason that I'm talking about this now is because this is the archetype that has been the catalyst or has been the modus operandi for all of these programs, and it comes from Rome during this time, and this is what I call, you've heard me use this term, lavender mafia, the lavender mafia. Okay, so in Rome there was a hidden network of powerful men, and I call them the lavender mafia. It was made up of senators, it was made up of priests, it was made up of military officials. It was made up of, powerful men that were, they were running things. And so their method that they liked to use in Rome was that they would take the children and they would sever the bonds from the parents, and then they would make them, they would have full authority over them. They would make them children of Rome. They were no longer children of their parents. So this is what they were doing. They were taking kids and they were severing them. Well, mostly they were taking young boys. They were removing them from their families. They were given to mentors, and what they were calling a mentorship. We all know what this is. Diddy did these mentorships too. These people in the music industry do these mentorships. It all is the same thing, and it's all happening in front of our face. Okay, we recognize this as domination, as RSA abuse, trauma, lots of trauma. Like Kanye said, They like to traumatize and monetize, right? Yes. All right, even the word Cicero from Caesar points to the same ritual, a Caesarean birth. It literally means that they're cutting a child from the mother's womb instead of letting it be born naturally through the birth canal. So this symbol was important to Rome. It meant the child belonged to the empire, no longer to the mother. So this is the archetype. Children are cut away, they're claimed by the empire, and then they're raised under a false father or a false mother. That's the archetype. All right, so now I want to talk about the vault matrix. And Jessica referred to this as something else. And I can't remember what she had called it, but you know, it's basically the same. It's the same thing. It's a vault matrix. And it's a containment system. So this pattern didn't stop into Rome. It's continued, and it's running underground, and you know, we've got kids going missing all over the place. So the vault is a containment system in this false holographic matrix that has been set up to reverse mirror the primordial mother's original template for Earth. We're rewinding the clock back all the way to the very, 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 very beginning, before Lyra, folks. This is where the wolf people come from. These are the lupine bloodlines, and this is where my bloodline comes from. Okay, so this is why shows like Raised by Wolves feel familiar to people, because they tell us the truth in plain sight. An android mother raising hybrid children, cut off from their real parents, trying to survive under an artificial parent. And that's the vault dressed up as fiction, plain and simple. So now I'm going to talk about my own story, and I've been putting off talking about this because this is a really touchy subject, but I know I have to, because we have to remove the stigmas from this stuff. It is what it is, okay? This is not a story of sci-fi. This is my lived experience. I've been part of breeding programs, okay? Since I was early enough to remember, I knew what it felt like to have children in my womb. I used to lay in bed at night and know what a kicking baby felt like in my belly. So I've had many children through these programs, more than I've ever spoken aloud, and dozens, more than dozens. My womb was being used in by two different groups at the same time, and it was almost like a competition for my womb. So some of my babies are stored in the vault. I know that they are. They're in vault-like conditions. They're in suspension. Some of my babies were hybrids. They're raised under handlers or one of these archetypal systems, synthetic systems, with one of these mothers that's like the android mother on the Umbrella Academy, for an example. If you want to try to visualize what I'm saying, I saw that and I was like, okay, whoa, okay. Theo just thumped me on my watch. And archetypal guardians. So they were raised, some of my kids were raised under handlers, and I call the Cicero heirs. I mean, I don't know what else to call them. They're placed in society, some of them, hidden in plain sight. And they don't remember me. But not all of my kids not all of these babies that I had survived. Like, some of them they took out of me before they were even born. And they did stuff with them. They did tests on them. They did all kind of stuff. They wanted to see, like, if things could mesh up with my genetic pattern, because I have I have a certain type of pattern that has to do with the primordial mother. So I still feel tethered to some of these children, so I know that they're not all gone. And I've had interactions with these children in my astral sleep. And I've been trying to find the one who I was riding on the train with, and it looked just like the train from the show I watched the night before last called Cloud Atlas. There was this train that I was riding, and it looked just like that. I had a young girl with blonde hair and big blue eyes. She was sleeping on my chest, and she pulled her head back, and she looked at me like she looked me right in the eyes, and I knew her. I knew her. I felt like she was my daughter. So, you know, I know that I'm still tethered to these children. And so we have to talk about this stuff because it removes the shame from this. You know, if everybody tells their own stories, I mean, that's your story. I can't say that somebody else's story is not true, that they make it all up, because it depends on what your frequency is. Not everybody resonates at the same frequency. Some people have different codes which help them get into higher realms. And their experience in the astral realm may not be the same. What they see in astral may not be the same as what someone else sees in astral, because you're in a different frequency band. Okay, so I have what's called beginner codes, and why this happens is, and some of us get targeted, is because of our beginner codes. And beginner codes are the original seed codes that come from the primordial mother. It's her stream. It's her time stream. It was here, the first grid. This is primordial mother's grid. This is why people remember the golden age that we had before, when we had giants here and when we had fairies here. This is why so many people love the Lord of the Rings movies. Or I'm pretty sure that's what they were called, where they had those little hobbit things. It's because that is a timeline that you existed in already. So if you carry them, you can have children across timelines, across dimensions. Your offspring stabilizes timelines, whether they're organic timelines or not. See, that's the thing about it. Whether these timelines are organic or they're synthetic, your offspring can be used in these programs. So this is why programs want to use you. They can fracture, manipulate, or genetically alter these codes to prop up these false timelines. This is why I have children that are in the vault. And Jessica said that she rescued some of these children. And, you know, I'm wondering if maybe one of my children got rescued. I hope that they did. I've been trying to integrate them back in. So, you know, but the other thing is that these codes make you protected too. You know, they can't fully erase or sever your tether to your children, no matter how many times that they try. And so there's another thing that I need to talk about, and that's the mark. That's the mark of Heru, or Horus. And it depends on what side of your body that you have it on. I have it here, and you can see it. I think you can see it right here. It looks like a half moon, a crescent that goes down. It's a half moon. It's on my right hand side. And ironically, Ghislaine Maxwell, she has one. She has a whole circle up here, which means a containment loop on her left, above her left eyebrow. And when I started taking her background apart, I come to realize that she's mirroring me. She's mirroring me in this dimension. She is holding up the holographic primordial copy, the bad copy, where they're trying to distort the primordial mother's original template. And I'm going to go into that because that's what I was doing today. Is I was sitting down with a piece of paper and just going to town, and everything was just slapping me in the face. And so the mark is a sign often on the face, near the eyes or the temple. My mom had a really big mole on her temple. Some of us carry this naturally. It's a symbol of our connection to the primordial mother. But in the false hologram that is overlaid, that they're trying to distort mother's overlay, others mirror this mark willingly. Like Ghislaine, she has this mark here. She's a bloodline baby, you know, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. Okay, so these are often the Black Sun bloodlines. Those who consent to the false mother timeline. It's the inversion of the golden sun, the Christ-Michael stream, and a mockery of the true primordial mother. So this is the heart of the false system, is inversion and mockery. The golden sun gives life. The black sun consumes life. The primordial mother creates. The false holographic mother imitates or mocks. She just imitates. She doesn't have it. Every vault, every Cicero heir, every android mother story, it's all the same inversion. Take the child. Claim the child. Sever the bonds. Sever the bonds. Replace the real mother with a counterfeit mother. Fake mother. Why does this matter now? Because here's the truth. No matter how many times this pattern repeats, the organic mother tether will always find a way through. My kids that are in this vault, they have my codes. And this makes them able to tether back to source, to the original timeline, to the original primordial timeline, because they have my codes. So essentially, they can anchor back to the real original timeline because they have the right codes. All right, so I know that because even after my twins were cut from me by C-section, I looked them in the eyes the moment that they came out. And in that moment, I exchanged my energy with them. And there's no program and no empire, no false mother is going to erase my bonds that I have with my kids, that I have now, that I have in different timelines, that are in different matrices, that are on different dimensions. They are still mine. They're still mine. They come from me. And so that's the power of the true mother stream. And we're all waking up now. It's all waking up in us. If you carry the beginner code like I do, if you carry the mark, if you're feeling the tug of the lost children, know this, you're not alone. You're not alone. And, you know, I really think that this vault is cracking. I think that, you know, people are waking up and people are saying, no more, no more. And, you know, the plan for the primordial mother's original timeline, the original golden age, it's set on the clock for our future timeline of 4450. But outside of this holographic reality that we're in three-dimensional space, it's one we've already been through. It was the other golden age that we keep finding evidence of, and we're saying, oh, this is Tartaria, oh, this is that. Folks, we already had the timeline. We're tweaking the timeline now to go back into the timeline smoothly. Does that make sense? This is what it is. And then there are shadow groups that do not want this to happen. So what they think they can do is that people that are waking up because they have these codes that I'm talking about, they're being ignited by primordial mother. Your stream is waking up. So what they're doing is trying to entrap you by making you believe that what you think is the primordial mother is actually a false mother. And that you are feeding energy into the imitation of the mother and not the real primordial mother. This is where discernment becomes crucial. Okay, so this is why I'm speaking this out loud, because I'm taking away the shame and I'm shining a light on this the best way that I know how. I'm living my life the way that I should be. I'm trying to walk the walk. I'm trying to share all this information with no price tags. The information doesn't have weight if you have an agenda. It has to come from this space. You don't have to set a booking with me and pay me $75, $200. I don't even know what the going rate is. I looked at somebody that was giving readings for like $600 and I almost fell out of my chair. And I thought, why would you pay someone to tell you about your own memories? You just need to know how to access them. We have to help each other out. It's not going to be price tags. We're going to do this the way it should be, with reciprocity. This is the way Mother says it has to work. This is the way that I was raised by my own grandmother. She said that things do not come from the primordial mother with a price tag. You didn't have to pay her for them. She gave them to you willingly because she loves you. And I love all of you. And I love my sisters and my brothers that are here doing this work. And so, you know, if you have a story that you want to share, or if you just need somebody to talk to about your experiences and try to make some sense of it, you can email me. My email is hstacy9090@gmail.com. Again, hstacy90@gmail.com. So when you come and find me, I'll be here, because we're living in the past, present, and the future all at the same time, folks. So the mother is not going to be erased. Her timeline is fixed. When this timeline comes back in, it can either be smooth or it can be one of these situations where they're pulling the plug. You know, it's up to us. It's up to us. How do we want to do this? Do we want to follow the organic, original, primordial mother's earth, where we go outside and we put our hands in the dirt and we use our codes? We anchor our codes in the dirt with our hands. Have the awakening. Start by putting heirloom seeds back into your yard, back into your community. These are memory capsules for the primordial earth template. All genetically modified fruits and vegetables lay a distortion. When you plant them, you are planting a holographic false overlay on the natural, organic, primordial template. Does that make sense? So this is why everything has to be original. This is why originally they arranged reproduction. It's because it was important to keep these family lines balanced with both sets of codes, so we didn't get to the point where we got, where the Nazis are getting information from Aldebaran, half information, because they don't have the feminine codes. So they just had a big clusterfuck that they've done to the whole planet, time traveled and everything. But when it comes down to it, these are two original groups: lunar mother, solar father, that came from before form. Okay. And so I'm going to end this video because it's been 24 minutes, but I wanted to just come in and add a little bit of context to an already phenomenal video and lesson from Jessica about the false mother matrix that is being pushed. It's being pushed. So not only are we being this holographic homosexual overlay, we're also introducing now, because the collective consciousness is bringing in mother codes, right? And we've got A1 Atlas swinging by here October 28th and 29th. This is when the veil between the 11 and the 11 is very, very thin, okay? So these are codes that are going to be affecting all of you. All of you. So especially if you have beginner codes. So with that, when you come and find me, I'll be here, because we're living in the past, present, and the future all at the same time. So when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to talk about all of the information that I put together on Ghislaine Maxwell, and how all of this stuff with the Epstein scandal and all of this is way, way more than just children being horrifically abused and everything else that's happening to them. It's even more than that. It's even more than that. It is so spiritual, and really, really, it's a layer. I mean, the more that I'm digging, it's like, the more I'm just like, oh my goodness, it just couldn't even be more obvious. More obvious. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the videos, please. People need to know about this stuff. We need to know what we're doing. We've got to navigate through these times and get through them. Get through them, not being reactive, but proactive. So thanks for watching Sacred Enzyme and spending 26 minutes with me. I hope to catch you on the next one. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.